you recognize that exhibit?
Yes.
What email is that?
This is from Donna to Wendy.
And does she call Dan any names in that email?
She calls him Elvis.
How about asshole?
I know it's in here.
Take your time.
I understand asshole, but is that a bad thing? Is that derogatory?
Have you ever seen an email where she called him an asshole?
I've seen an email, but I don't see it here.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
Tab M, please.
Emma?
M as in Mike.
M.
I guess tell us who it's to, who it's from, and the date, please.
It's from Donna to Wendy, March 6th, 2013.
Does she call Dan Markell any names in that email?
Yes, she does.
What names does she call him?
In this particular email, after the first paragraph, it says that she calls him a major fucker.
Please refer to tab Q, a May 3rd of 13 email.
Yes,
Does that email, is it from Donna to Wendy?
it is.
And does it reference Wendy's relocation efforts?
Yes,
Does it indicate that Wendy's relocation efforts are extremely important to Donna Adelson?
yes,
Please reference tab V as in Victor, a June 25th email.
Good thing that wasn't leading. Holy cow.
Are you familiar with the court filing in which relocation was denied?
yes.
Do you know on which date relocation was denied?
June 20th, 2013.
So this is email on tab V as in Victor. Is it 5 days after relocation was denied?
It is June 26th, 2013.
Does Donna Adelson, the defendant, propose another plan to facilitate relocation in light of the court's ruling?
Yes,
So this is done after the court's ruling,
correct.
and relocation is still being discussed.
Yes.
Okay, what does she suggest?
She suggests that the children between Wendy and Dan start attending, or her at least the ruse of them going to a Christian church or a Catholic church.
And to take pictures of it and send it to Dan Markell, right?
Yes,
To strong arm him into agreeing to the relocation, right?
correct. Coercion.
Did Donna Adelson, the defendant in this case, suggest a bribe to Dan Markell to cause him to allow these kids to be moved to South Florida?
Yes,
Draw your attention to tab W. What is the proposal in reference to this bribe?
$1 million.
$1 million.
Yes.
Okay. Were there any death benefits, any monies that were to be gained from the death of Dan Markell?
Yes,
Did he have a life insurance policy?
he did.
What was the amount of the life insurance policy?
One of them was for $2 million.
And a second one for $60,000?
$60,000 from the second one through the law school.
Were there any survivor benefits for these kids in the event of Dan's death?
There was
What are those?
$4,800 a month.
Who gets that money for the disbursement of the kids?
Wendy Adelson.
What about through his employment at FSU Law School? Did he have a pension there?
Got a pension, a deferred comp, 401k,
And an estate worth some money, right?
approximately $300,000.
What was the total value of Mr. Markel's estate?
2.7 million.
As part of your investigation, did you attempt to establish a timeline of the victim's activities prior to his murder?
Yes.
What did he do that day?
At 8:50 a.m., he dropped off his children at the preschool daycare on West Tharp Street. From there, he proceeded to go back across town to Premier Fitness Gym off of Village Square Boulevard.
Was there any surveillance at the gym?
Yes,
And was that collected by law enforcement?
it was.
All right. Judge, at this time, I'd ask to move into evidence, State's Exhibit 119, a thumb drive containing the surveillance collected from Premier Gym.
Any objection? There you are. States 119 is admitted.
And was the raw data or surveillance video collected from the gym compiled in a way that shows what it is we're looking for concerning Mr. Markel?
That's correct, yes.
Was that done in State's Exhibit 89?
I believe so.
All right, Judge, at this time, I'd ask to move into evidence, State's 89.
Any objection? There you are. States 89 is admitted.
Were you able to see on this gym surveillance video Mr. Markel's vehicle enter the parking lot of the gym?
Yes,
At what time does he enter the parking lot of the
I
gym?
believe it was
9:11 sound right?
9:11, yes.
We're talking about AM. So you said he dropped the kids off at 8:50 and he arrives at the gym at 9:11?
8:50 a.m. is when he dropped the children off, and he signed them in at the daycare. And then at 9:11 is when you see his car enter the parking lot at Premier, all on July 18th, 2014.
And were you able to see anything sinister about the parking lot of Premier Gym on the morning of Mr. Markel's shooting?
Following Markel's car entering the lot, a short time later, a vehicle enters the lot that is similar in description from the next door witness, Mr. Geiger.
What does the suspect vehicle do when Mr. Markel enters the gym?
It parks and no one gets out of the car.
How long does the suspect vehicle stay there while Mr. Markel's in the gym?
I don't recall the exact amount of time, but it's quite some time that the whole time he's in the gym. And even after he comes out, gets back in his car and leaves. That's when the car leaves at the same time.
All right, so the whole time he's in the gym doing his workout, this suspect Prius is in the parking lot.
Correct.
And when he comes out to leave and gets in his vehicle, what happens with the Prius then?
The Prius follows.
Judge, at this time, I would ask to introduce State's Exhibit 89. I'm sorry, I have introduced it. I'm asking to publish it at this time. Thank you. Is this black vehicle Mr. Markel's vehicle?
Yes, it's a black Honda four-door. Same car?
And that's Mr. Markel parking right there behind the flagpole.
That's correct.
What is this vehicle?
That will be the suspect vehicle,
And is
green
the-
Prius.
Okay, consistent with the description given by Mr. Geiger.
They said a light colored or silverish, and the car color is a silver pine mica.
Who's that in the blue circle?
That's Mr. Markel exiting his vehicle.
That's him in the red shirt.
That's correct. It's Mr. Markel entering Premier's main doors.
What do we see in this image?
I'm sorry.
What do we see in this portion of the tape?
That's the suspect vehicle, the Prius, driving through the parking lot.
At this point, is Mr. Markel inside the gym?
He's inside, yes.
And when you know what's
This
about
is
to
still in
happen,
the front section where the car went from right to left.
this is so creepy.
This is still part of the Premier Gym parking lot?
Correct. Yes, it's just the opposite, camera facing the opposite direction. And it's the car reversing course coming back towards the front doors.
Yep. Okay, now what's the time on the video here?
I can't read 10:30. I think it
Okay.
says 10:38.
Is this Mr. Markel exiting the gym at this
He's
point?
exiting the Premier in the same door he came in. I'm sorry, it's 10:33 on the timestamp.
Thank you.
Yeah, this will be really the last, there it is there, the last time you see him alive. Dan Markel leaving the gym.
That's Mr. Markel making his way to the parking lot where his car is parked.
Once he gets in the car, does he sit there a few minutes or is that at the front end?
I'm sorry.
Does he sit in his car for a few minutes at one point?
Just a short period of time. Then his car starts backing up.
Where's that?
That's him exiting.
And will we see the suspect vehicle pull
It's
out
coming
behind
from the
him?
backside. See it? Same suspect vehicle following the direction of Markel's car.
Right, and it exits the parking lot at 10:39 a.m.
Yes.
Okay. And based on what would be the logical route from here to Mr. Markel's home, did you try to get some additional surveillance to see if you catch suspect vehicle any further?
Yes.
What was that?
That was the location was the business. No, I'm sorry, it's a bus off of a bus at McClay Commerce Boulevard and Thomasville Road.
All right. And were you able to actually find some bus video from both before and after the shooting of the suspect vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. And were those the raw data that you collected from the bus compiled into clips similar to what we saw on the gym video?
That's correct.
All right, Judge, at this time, I would ask to move into evidence States Exhibit 120, a thumb drive containing the bus raw data, and States Exhibit 90, a disc containing the bus video clips.
Any objection? There you are. States 90 and 120 are admitted.
Permission to publish states 90.
You may.
All right, if you can pause it for just a minute. Can you orient us? Is this the McClay Commerce?
Yes, this is the bus is pointing east. So just beyond that circle is where the flyover starts. If you're going southbound, you can take the flyover to get on Capitol Circle after you pass McClay Gardens and everything. So this car is on Thomasville Road, not the flyover, and it is going southbound.
All right, and this camera is mounted on the bus. That's how we were able to get this image?
Correct.
Okay.
This is a city bus.
Continue, please. The time on this, 10:44 a.m., is that
Correct.
right? And what is this orange circle?
This is the Prius going the same direction as Markel's car, southbound on Thomasville Road.
Okay, now where are we?
This is southbound on Thomasville. We've gone underneath the I-10 overpass, and we're at Metropolitan Boulevard, and the bus just so happens to pull up right behind the Prius.
Based on the image in this exhibit right here, were you able to deduce the tag number of the Prius?
No,
That would have saved you a lot of
a
trouble,
lot
wouldn't it?
of time. Yes. The video could not be enhanced anymore.
I think it's interesting that would these suspects need
Does
to
the evidence
follow
suggest
him?
that Markel had already gone on through past this traffic light?
Correct, because this car was behind Markel's car. So he must have beat the light or got through the intersection before this car.
Don't they know the address? Don't they know where he's going? Don't they? I would think that's all sussed out for these crack criminals, that they wouldn't have to follow him.
Okay, now orient us.
I believe we're now at Thomasville Road, southbound at Benton. And that circle was the Prius in the left turn lane to go from Thomasville eastbound on Benton Road.
And is that the way to Mr. Markel's residence?
Not this time. He turned beforehand. We found out later on.
You found out later that Mr. Markel turned later on,
Yes,
but this is the
car
way the
turned.
suspect vehicle goes.
Right. He turns left.
Okay, can you get to Mr. Markel's residence from Benton Road?
Yes.
The way he turned.
Yes.
All right, now, can you back it up, please?
Pretty amazing they had that bus like working for
So
the
the
cops.
last time we see the suspect vehicle turning off Thomasville onto Benton Road is what time? Hit play, please.
10:40. No. 10:51.
Okay. And what time does our, pause it please, what time does our 911 call come in?
11:02 a.m.
Okay, so he was killed between 10:51 and 11:02.
Well, we narrowed it down even more than that. But
Okay, tell me how you narrowed it down further.
well,
than that.
this bus now, this is a different bus, same city bus group, but this is a totally different bus. It's northbound on Thomasville Road. So based on the time, this bus is northbound. The shooting has already happened, and you'll see that the Prius catches up in the same lane as that black vehicle there next to the bus at 10:55, I believe. 10:55. Here it comes.
So that helps you narrow it down to what as the time of death?
10:50. Well, at 10:51, he's in the Prius is in the turn lane. At 10:55, they've already left Prescott and they're northbound towards I-10.
Okay, and you say they. Why do you say they?
Well, here shortly, you'll see what appears to be two different individuals in the front seat of this car.
See something white moving around in the passenger seat?
Yeah, the white shirt, the person in that side of the car, it seems extremely animated, excited. And the other side, the best view that I've ever gotten is someone's in a solid black shirt or upper top.
Better eyes.
And this is a slowed down version
I
to try to
have.
get a better look at those occupants.
Garcia would be on the passenger side and Rivera driving.
All right.
But-
What are these orange circles indicating?
These are characteristics of this car that we found to be unique. The passenger side mirror is solid black. These cars have, when they come new, the mirror is the same color as the car, the mirror casing on the outside. This one's been replaced, it appears, because it's black. The circle in the middle of the top of the windshield, that appears to be a sun pass or toll type pass activator. And then the lower bumper circle, that's where a tow hook can be threaded in for towing purposes, but otherwise it has a cap over it and the cap is missing.
Were you able to deduce anything about the year of the Toyota Prius?
Based on the research that we did through Toyota, this was established to be a 2006 to 2009 Toyota Prius. And the color, as I said before, was silver pine mica.
All right. Is it fair to characterize your investigation as having kind of two different veins at this point? We're looking at motive over here and we're looking at the Prius over here.
Correct.
Okay. And you mentioned the sun pass transponder. So we know this Prius, I'm assuming it's not the only silver pine mica Prius between 06 and 09 in the state.
Correct.
All right, so what do we do to try to track down the Sun Pass transponder?
I contacted Florida Department of Transportation, who administers the Sun Pass, and wanted to find out, what's the likelihood of that kind of car having a Sun Pass, and I was overwhelmed with there was thousands. So that wasn't narrowing down anything very quick.
At that time, was Sun Pass more affiliated with South Florida, or did pretty much everybody in Tallahassee have one?
No, south and central, anything Orlando south for the most part.
Okay. Did you have any indication based on the surveillance video available as to where the vehicle went after it fled from Markel's residence?
I just know that right here it's going northbound towards I-10 from Thomasville.
All right. Let's watch to the end.
This intersection is Armistead, so this is north of Benton, heading back towards I-10.
Was any cell phone analysis worked on in this case?
Excuse me?
Cell phone analysis?
Yes.
Who performed the cell phone analysis?
Sergeant Corbett.
Okay, and is that something that was going on simultaneously as you doing this Sun Pass?
That's correct.
Thing? Okay. And did Corbett's work include trying to look for phones of interest traveling in the areas that we know where you found our suspect vehicle?
That and Premier Jim.
And we will talk to Sergeant Corbett later, but based on his analysis, did you have an idea or develop an idea of the route that your suspects may have taken?
Yes.
All right. And what did you do to follow up on that?
Well, initially, because of our large expanse of cars, we started looking for South Florida at any cars going through the interchange southbound at Wildwood, where you get on the turnpike from I-75. That was a bust. It was way too many. We couldn't find anything that was concrete. So once the phone analysis was done, we had a better idea that there was one particular number, and tracking that went southbound on I-75 all the way to Naples, and then crossing over on Alligator Alley, which is still I-75, from west to east, from Naples to Broward County.
And once you learned that it was actually this other route than what you would expect, were you able to do anything with in reference to the toll plazas and the Sun Pass transponder that you weren't able to do previously?
That's correct.
Okay, tell us about that.
Once we had that established, then I contacted the Sun Pass administrators again at Department of Transportation. And I explained to them what I had. I said, we got a Prius, a 2006 to 2009 silver pine mica. Not that they had that in the records. I says, but we have them going through approximately this toll plaza in Naples, going westbound. And once I gave them that and the time, within a couple minutes of when they would have gone through, they showed an activation with a transponder from the windshield at that toll plaza in Naples in Collier County. And there was only one Prius. And that's what we determined, that it was going back to South Florida and cutting across Alligator Alley.
All right, and were you able to backtrack and find the toll plaza record or Sun Pass record of the vehicle coming to Tallahassee as well?
Correct. On the 16th of July, that same transponder, we're talking about the sticker on the windshield, that same transponder went through from Broward County, West Broward County, through the other end of the toll plaza. There's one on each end. There's nothing in the middle. But one going eastbound, that same transponder on the 16th of July cut across Alligator Alley and then presumably went up 75, which the phone records will show that, and then the return trip was the first one we found.
And did that help you identify the particular SunPass transponder by like an identification number?
Yes,
And is a particular SunPass transponder affiliated with a particular vehicle through some type of SunPass record?
yes, it shows the customer who purchased the SunPass, and they submit what kind of vehicle it is, the tag number, in case the SunPass, the transponder doesn't work, they could still use their credit because it'll take a picture of the tag.
All right, so what did you learn about the suspect vehicle at this time from the SunPass stuff?
It was a rental. It was a rental from a Miami car rental place called Save Gas.
Okay. Did law enforcement go to Save Gas
They
in
did.
Miami?
Yes,
Was there any documentation discovered at that business
There
related
was.
to the rental of this vehicle?
it was.
67. Let's approach and show you what I marked as state 67. Recognize state 67?
Yes,
Okay, is that the rental contract that you found at the Save Gas related to your suspect vehicle?
that's correct.
All right. Is it a fair and accurate copy of that exhibit or that
Yes.
document? Moving to evidence state 67, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor. State 67 is admitted.
Permission to publish 67.
You may.
And what did we learn about the people that rented the car from this state 67? Not on there? Who rented the vehicle?
According to this document, Luis Rivera, Normandy Drive in Miami, is the one that rented this car.
And did he provide a phone number for himself?
Yes,
Is that the number listed right here?
yes.
Okay. And any other drivers listed on the contract?
No driver listed there, but up in the top, you see the word brother and a phone number that became significant.
All right. And whose phone number were you able to associate? Who were you able to associate this phone number with? The brother.
Sigfredo Garcia.
When was this vehicle rented?
This on the 16th of July. I'm sorry, this shows 15th. 15th of July.
Okay. And when was it due back?
It was due back on the 17th of July.
Didn't go back on the 17th though.
No, I don't believe it got back till the 21st.
Okay. Approach and show you what I'm marking as state 65. Recognize state 65?
I do.
How do you recognize it?
This was a traffic citation that we discovered Luis Rivera received on I-75.
On I-75 on the way to Tallahassee in the Prius?
No, it was a different car. This was on a different, this was dated June 4th.
I'm sorry, I've showed you the wrong thing.
Not familiar with the Save Gas rental company, but I don't know. You're renting a car that's between 5 and 8 years old. Yikes! But you're saving money. That's the key. When you're doing a hit, saving money is top of the list.
Not the right thing.
Once again, a document snafu has slowed down the pace. But at least we're going, and I think we'll see Wendy this afternoon. Sure, she won't finish, but I think we're going to see her.
We'll have to circle back to that. All right. Let me ask you about phone. You mentioned that Sergeant Corbett was working on the phone records. I'm going to approach and show you what I've marked as State's Exhibit 55. Recognize this exhibit?
I do.
This is sort of an org chart of all the folks whose phone records we collected in this case, or many of them.
Yes, that's correct.
And by stipulation, Judge, these phone numbers have been associated with the folks on the chart, so I'd ask to move it down to State's 55.
Yes, no objection to the publishing.
55 is admitted at this time.
Okay, well, we'll work on that too.
That's what happens when you have a witness you didn't have on the last trial, or 2 or 3. This guy's new to this trial. Don't have all the documents in order. That is a motley crew there.
Now, Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera, those are the two subjects that you establish as being in the Prius. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. And these are their phone numbers that have been associated with them listed beneath them.
Correct.
And we've got 2 different numbers for Luis Rivera. Is that right?
Rivera had 2 separate numbers, but his main one was 570. That was on the rental contract.
All right. And the nicknames that are shown there, are those the nicknames that those 2 go by?
Correct. Tuto and Tato.
Tuto and Tato.
Correct.
Okay. Were you able to establish any link through people between the 2 that came in the Prius and the Adelson family?
No.
Okay. Were you able to establish any type, did you develop a theory or any evidence as to why these 2 people came to Tallahassee to murder Dan Markell?
Well, eventually we learned that the female, Catherine Magbanua, was the mother of Sigfredo Garcia's children and considered each other spouses, to my best understanding.
Okay. And
And
did
at the
she
same
have,
time,
go ahead.
same time, we also found out she had been dating and in a relationship with Charlie Adelson.
All right. So initially, was there any connection between these 2 guys from Miami and Dan Markell?
None.
All right. So this was the connection that was established, turned out to be Catherine Magbanua.
The only connection we could find.
Okay. And was that done through phone records and ultimately other communication records and testimony?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you, as a result of developing Catherine Magbanua as a potential suspect, investigate her at all?
Yes.
All right. And did that include an investigation into her employment?
That's correct.
What was her employment status around the time of this murder?
At the time of the murder, I believe she worked at another dental office somewhere, but post-murder, she started receiving compensation from the Adelson Institute.
What is the Adelson Institute?
It's a dental practice, according to online information operated by Harvey Adelson and Charlie Adelson.
Okay, and were the two of them dentists?
Yes, I believe Charlie is recognized as a periodontist.
Did you come to learn what Donna Adelson's role, if any, was in that business?
Yes, she was clerical and kept books for the business.
Did you attempt to procure some employment records from the Adelson Institute to verify Ms. Magbanowa's employment?
We did.
All right, tell us about that.
Myself and Special Agent Sanford from the FBI went to the office, physically to the office in Broward County, Tamarack, and served a subpoena seeking records for the employment of Catherine Magbanowa, and we received nothing at the initial time. Later on, the best I could get from, I believe it was an attorney that represented that dental office, just a list of checks that were paid checks from the Adelson Institute to Catherine Magbanowa, but no W-2, no responsibility forms, nothing that showed what she actually did as being employed at that institute.
What was it, regular business hours when you entered there physically?
Yes,
Was Ms. Magbanowa present when you entered the building?
no,
And did the employees that you have contact with seem to know who she was or what it was that she did there?
the initial person that I spoke to at the desk, at the front desk, she had no idea who this person was, who Magbanowa was. The other person that came up to the front, she said she knew the name, but did not know what her responsibilities were with the company.
And the person that knew the name, who is that?
Erica Johnson, I believe.
And I'm going to approach and show you 68. Recognize 68?
Yes, this is all I received as far as any type of records for Magbanowa and her relationship with the Adelson Institute.
Right. And did the records include any job description for Ms. Magbanowa?
No,
Any employment application,
no,
schedule,
no,
timesheet,
nope,
W-2 forms, or tax filing records?
nope,
Any performance evaluations?
none.
So only the checks.
Only the checks.
According to those checks, during what period of time was Catherine Magbanowa on the Adelson Institute payroll?
From September of 2014 all the way, this particular one shows March of 2016, but I believe it goes further than that into May 2016.
Right. So it starts shortly after the homicide, about 2 months?
Yes. Actually, the homicide happened July 18th, and the first check was dated September 18th.
For what pay period?
I don't see the pay period on this one.
But presumably she'd be paid for a pay period that had
2 weeks
concluded. Okay.
According to the way this is laid out.
All right, and we are going to learn more about the bump or the undercover operation, but is it fair to say the checks terminated shortly after the undercover operation in 2016?
Yes,
Did you notice in your review of that exhibit the documents provided by the Adelson Institute that some of those check numbers were consecutive.
Yes, I did.
Who signed those checks?
Donna Adelson,
All of them?
everyone.
Were you ever able to develop any evidence that Magbanua was physically going to the Adelson Institute during these pay periods?
Never.
Any evidence that she performed some service offsite for that business?
Nothing was established that showed that.
Any evidence of any contact with any patients?
No,
And you were, we'll learn later, listening to some of her phone calls, right?
that's correct.
When was Catherine Magbanua arrested for her role in this murder?
October 1, 2016,
Were you present for her arrest?
I was.
And was she allowed to contact her lawyer from the arrest scene?
Yes,
Did you speak to her attorney as well?
I did.
Who was her attorney?
Tara Kawas,
What happened after that phone call?
after Ms. Magbanua was placed into a car for transport to the Broward County Jail, way less than 20 minutes later, I received a phone call on my phone.
Because lack of relevance, he's about to testify to something that has nothing to do with my client.
No disputed objection. Ms. Kappelman, please lay the foundation as to this matter in this trial. Overruled.
Go ahead, sir.
So so let me back up. So while Ms. Magbanua was detained on scene, where she was arrested in the daytime, daylight hours, she was allowed to place a call to her attorney. She spoke to her attorney. I spoke to her attorney, and I asked that Ms. Kawas, the attorney representing her at the time, that she contact her client, Magbanua, at the Broward County Jail, and if in fact she wanted to cooperate with the investigation, to call me back.
So you were
Yeah.
interested in getting information from Ms. Magbanua?
Correct. I wanted-
Information about the other parties involved in this case?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So what I mean by cooperation is if she wanted to provide testimony about other players in this. And so I told Ms. Kawas, if you'll talk to your client, obviously out of my presence, and if she decides to cooperate, call me back and I will go to the Broward County Jail and meet.
Did that happen?
No.
What happened instead?
Well, like I said, within less than 20 minutes from that conversation, I received a phone call from a gentleman that identified himself as David Marcus. Instead, he was an attorney representing Charlie Adelson. And he asked that if Charlie Adelson was to be arrested, if I would just contact him.
Your Honor, my renewed objection, there's relevance, and this is not co-conspirator admission.
Specifically as a co-conspirator aspect, Ms. Kappelman, you need to keep the examination focused on that. Members of the jury, as to the last objection, I will sustain it. You may continue, Ms. Kappelman.
So you speak to Kawas and your next phone call is from Charlie's lawyer.
Correct.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
Yes, please quench your thirst. Get in there, sir. This will be the first witness that the defense has cross-examined. So this could be good, could be bad, could be somewhere in between.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so at the time of this investigation, when it began, how long had you been with the Tallahassee Police Department?
25 years.
You'd spent vast majority of your career as an investigator detective.
No, I probably spent most of my career as a street officer.
At the time of this, how long had you been a detective?
6 years.
And you continue to be the lead for Tallahassee Police Department on this investigation until your retirement, correct?
Correct.
Now, it's important when you're conducting an investigation, especially a homicide investigation, for you to be thorough, correct?
Yes.
You don't want to leave essentially any stone unturned,
Yes.
obviously within reason.
Yes.
You talked about your agency beginning to obtain cellular phone records of the Adelson family pretty early on, correct?
Mm,
You started getting them in July,
yes.
and you learned that Wendy Adelson's parents, my client and her husband, lived in Miami, correct?
I believe at the time it was Coral Springs, but
They had a place on Miami Beach.
well, I know that they ended up at Miami Beach. I don't recall at the time of the homicide if they were living on Miami Beach.
Okay. But you knew that they were in South Florida.
South Florida is correct.
Okay. And so as your investigation continued and you started looking into, you made the connection between the two individuals who drove up here, Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera. You made that connection to Catherine Magbanoa, correct?
Right.
And you made that connection to Charlie Adelson, correct?
Correct.
And then you see these large cash deposits into Katie Magbanoa, or you see Katie Magbanoa's unemployment status.
Right.
She's still paying her bills in South Florida.
Yes.
Now, you also mentioned that you contacted the SunPass Authority.
Yes.
Did you ever, you'd already made a connection between the investigation and the Adelson family at this point, pretty quickly.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Well, over a couple years. By the time June of 2016 comes, comes about, you've already made that connection.
Oh, yes. By that time, yes.
And you contacted the SunPass Authority for my client's SunPass records, correct?
No.
No, you didn't. Did you contact the Turnpike Authority for construction records for the Turnpike?
Construction records?
Yes.
No.
What about for I-95 or 595?
To my knowledge, there is no, and I believe I established that with the FDOT, Florida Department of Transportation, that there was no toll system on 95.
Okay. I was asked about construction records on 95.
I did not inquire about construction records.
What about accident records?
Accident records?
Yeah.
No.
Isn't it true that my client and her husband shared an email address?
I believe they did.
You learned that during your investigation. In fact, I think Wendy said that, didn't she, in her interview with you?
I don't recall whether she said it.
Where is, you have some.
This is going swimmingly. Just because he says, "Isn't it true?" when asking a question doesn't mean it really has any punch or significance. The "isn't it true" was as to the shared email account, because in theory, then you're going in the direction of, so you don't know who really sent or forwarded that email. Isn't that true? It could be one of two people, and one of them is not my client.
You identified emails that are contained in State's Exhibit 64, correct?
Yes.
And according to your testimony, these are emails between my client and her daughter, correct?
Yes.
And in some of these emails, my client called Danny Markell bad names.
Yes.
She never actually said she hated him, did she, in any of these emails?
That came through the grandchildren.
Okay. At the time, the grandchildren were 3 and 4.
I don't recall the age. They were young.
And you also testified about a bribe. You are not a family law attorney, are you?
No,
Okay. And you have no idea whether or not it's permitted for one party to offer any sort of financial incentive to another party when it comes to relocation.
that's not in my realm.
And you also testified about Mr. Markel's life insurance policy, pension, and you said that those funds went to his children with Wendy as a custodian.
Some of them, and some of them was Dan Markel's sister as the custodian.
Okay. Did my client receive any financial benefit in the form of Danny's life insurance, his pension, or anything else?
Not that I could tell.
Going back to those emails, especially the one the state highlighted concerning the Catholic Church and dressing the kids up, Wendy didn't take those suggestions, did she?
No.
You testified just now concerning your attempt to obtain employment records for Miss Magbanua from the Adelson Institute. It's a small business, right?
It appeared to be.
Just a handful of employees?
Yeah, there was only 2 there at the time.
You don't know whether or not any of the employees had a written job description.
No, I do not know that.
You don't know if any of the employees' files had evaluations or job reviews.
I didn't see that. I would think with that type of business and working on people's mouths and so forth, that there would be a little scrutiny involved.
But you don't know if they kept those records for any employee.
I have no
do you?
idea. I was only seeking and only had cause to seek for Magbanua.
And when Miss Magbanua was arrested, you testified that you received a call from someone who identified himself as Charlie's attorney, correct?
After her arrest, the gentleman that called my number was he identified himself as an attorney for Charlie Adelson,
Not Donna Adelson.
not Donna.
Now, is it unusual in an investigation like this for a defense attorney to contact you about whether or not there's a warrant for their client's arrest?
I wouldn't say that. It was shocking to me that within that short a time frame, the only way that this person would have knowledge would be from Magbanua's attorney. So there would be contact between Magbanua's attorney and this person identifying himself as Charlie's attorney in a very short time. No media, nothing had been divulged.
So what you found unusual was the short time frame, not the phone call itself.
No, it was immediate, and I'm basically telling Coas, if your client wants to cooperate, contact me. Don't call somebody else that's a co-conspirator, their attorney.
You didn't receive a call from anyone identifying themselves as Donna's attorney in that instant, did
No,
you?
sir.
Okay. Ms. Kappelman asked you about what has been coined that grandmother motion. Again, you're not a family law attorney.
Right. Still not.
And so although you read the motion
Yes.
and you're educated,
Oh.
absent having some legal knowledge, can you interpret what is being requested in the motion?
I believe so. I think it's pretty plain.
I'm glad you said that. Now, I want to go back to the emails, and I'm going to use the board. The emails that you testified were between my client and her mother.
Why was he glad the motion was easy for him to understand? I don't even get that throwaway comment. I don't get it.
I just if he needed to take a break.
Yeah. He needs to refill the cup. Or not. Don't ask the jurors. They want a break. The grandmother motion was the one to relocate the family.
Let's see. The sender of this email is not Donna Adelson, is it?
No, it doesn't. I don't know who it's from. It's not showing it.
Okay. It's an evite.com invitation.
I've seen those.
Okay. You don't have any personal knowledge as to how these are generated, do you?
Someone has to go through this program to get it set up and sent out.
But you don't have any personal knowledge as to how that's done, do you?
No.
The next page of EE, it's August 30th, 2014 email to Wendy. Now, the sender is donnaharvey@gmail.com, correct?
That's correct.
Whose name is next to that?
Harvey Adelson.
That's not Donna Adelson, is it?
I believe that's her husband.
Next. It's an email dated September 12th, 2014. And the sender is saying that Lincoln will attend Tot Shabbat with his grandpa, Harvey Adelson. Isn't that what it says?
Yes, it does.
Who's it from?
It's from DonnaHarvey@gmail.com.
And whose name is next to that?
It says Harvey Adelson.
I'm going to show you 64FF. This is, again, from Harvey, DonnaHarvey@gmail.com, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Whose name is it there?
Where it says from,
Yes.
it says Harvey Adelson.
Okay. Wendy, this is the information on work order for repair of TV Friday, July 18th between 8 and 12. Love, Dad. My
Yes.
client's not Dad, is she?
I wouldn't refer to him as that. I don't think she would either.
This is still part of that same email, the Geek Squad schedule. Would you be willing to accept a sooner appointment if one becomes available? Do you see that language?
Yes.
What's the answer underneath that?
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Redirect examination. Go ahead.
This should be short. Not a whole lot to deal with here. The best move he made was the whole husband-wife email. I give him credit for that. I would have made that argument. especially when it's signed either Harvey or Dad. But who doesn't know that Donna's pulling the strings and wearing the pants? If she said, send them an email, I set up the appointment for the Geek Squad, Harvey's doing it. So, but it's still going to have to be cleaned up because it makes it look like it wasn't Donna that had anything to do with that. And that's a key part of their prosecution case, and that is that she set up this appointment with
Defense
the
pointed out,
Geek Squad.
hey, Harvey and Donna share an email address, right? Donna
Yeah.
Harvey at gmail.com. And some of these are signed dad.
Right.
Are some of them signed mom?
Right.
Okay, and drawing your attention to this one on May 3rd, 2013, including the statement, the most important part of your divorce is relocation. On page 4 of that exhibit, well, let me start by going to the very end. Inconveniently, the way this printed, love you. Who signed that one?
Mom.
All right, and on page 4 of the exhibit, just a moment. State's Exhibit W, this is one from Thursday, June 27th, 2013. It's signed mom and dad, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And in this one,
Harvey has his own bench, you know. Not that it bothers me, not that I haven't been talking about it since the very beginning of the day, but he does. They've blocked off a bench or two for all of the Adelson supporting family, and they're empty.
all right, so we've got some from mom and dad, right?
That's correct.
No further questions.
You may step down, sir. Will he be retained? You may be
Yes.
recalled at some point in the trial, please remain in contact with the attorneys. What's that? Yes, sir.
Please, no recross. Thank you so much.
Members of the
Okay,
jury
so this
will
guy-
take a break at this
There you
point.
go. Good idea.
Briefly, the bailiff will take you to the jury room.
And guess what's coming up after that? Can I have a drum roll, please? We believe it'll be Wendy Adelson. Aha! Which means if she gets on there at 4 and they go to 5:30, they're not going to finish her today. But get into a pretty good chunk of sassy, snarky, arrogant testimony. So let's talk about that, the redirect there, which had to do with exactly what I
Everyone
suggested.
can be seated. Just a reminder for the gallery, while the testimony is taking place, if you step outside of the courtroom, you'll need to wait until the examination of that witness is complete. We will resume at 3:50.
Yeah, good luck. Anyway, so she went right back in, Kappelman, to say, so there are a lot of emails and might be mom, and dad. I don't think that gets her where she needs to go, because the defense is perfectly legit in making that distinction. That it's like the argument I always make about cell phones. Every year it becomes less and less convincing. But the fact is, just because it's on my cell phone doesn't mean I had it and was going wherever it says I went, or doesn't mean that I sent the text, or doesn't mean, unless it's a voice call, that I made the call. Okay? You can't just presume that or assume that, especially in a legal context. So this is the same thing. We have these emails. Hey, not only is it in two people's names, who had access to the computers? That's what I always want to know. Are those kids playing with the computer? Are there friends that have borrowed the computer and maybe they're using your email? To me, I don't just say those are a given, that if my name's on the email, or in this case Harvey and Donna's names are on the email, that only those two could possibly have drafted an email. I just don't, I'm too cynical. I'm too, I'm suspicious.